Joel Fitzgibbon, the government has announced that it's bringing forward the assistance from Monday. That's a good thing?
Well, we support and welcome the package. It's one which should have come a month ago, and I've been urging action for weeks now. In fact, what they've done today is effectively what I've been calling for, although we still haven't seen the detail, particularly around the eligibility criteria for the concessional loan scheme, and until we've seen that, we won't really know how many additional farm families will be eligible.
Is that your biggest criticism, that it's taken too long?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I've been calling for the government to do three things. One, relax the criteria for the family allowance payment. They've done that. Two, I've been calling upon them to do something to broaden the eligibility criteria and to put more money into the concessional loan scheme. It looks like they've done that, but we're waiting on the detail. But the outstanding thing, the third point, was resurrecting the COAG reform process, so we've got real drought reform. See, Labor started that process in government, but lost government and the work wasn't complete. In 6 months, this government hasn't picked up the ball. In fact, it has abolished the COAG vehicle, which is the vehicle for further progressing drought reform.
So just on that, that's been one of the criticisms raised, that this is a package dealing with the here and now, with the short-term measures. You mentioned Labor started the work, but what else can be done so that farmers can prepare for these droughts as they come through the cycles?
Well, our next move was to work with the states on some form of natural disaster relief payment, and the Prime Minister and I are as one on this. I think Barnaby Joyce has the same view as well. We can't let farmers sit back now and wonder what the assistance package will look like during the next drought. And the weather and the climate is changing. There will be more droughts, and they seem to be coming more regularly. This is sort of an ad hoc band-aid approach. We need long-term drought reform. The farm sector needs to know what assistance will be available to it if and when we face another 1 in 50-year drought.
One of the comments that Tony Abbott made today was that to be eligible, people will have to be a viable business. Do you think there needs to be some emphasis given for assistance to help farmers who aren't viable move perhaps off the land and into something else?
Well, I should first say that the concessional loan scheme was created by the former Labor government. The criteria then, when indebtedness was the issue rather than drought, was deliberately tied to ensure that we're only helping farmers who had a short-term issue to deal with but could prove their long-term viability. Now, the drought became very severe, and my point was we needed to change that criteria so that drought-affected farmers could more easily gain access. That's what we think they've done today, but again, I'm waiting to see the detail. Exit packages were part of the old EC scheme. I believe they still have merit.
What about the money that's been offered for mental health, $10 million for social support services? Do you think that's enough?
Hard for me to say. I announced a number of additional rural counsellors when I was the minister just before the last election. I've been trying to remember what that cost. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to recall it and haven't had time today to check it, but hard to know what $10 million buys. It's welcome, but whether it's sufficient, I'm not sure.
Joel Fitzgibbon, we'll leave it there. Thank you very much.
Well, that's a pleasure.